Hey, hello. We did some fieldwork last week with university, and I created some sampling points in this nature reserve where we wanted to make some measurements, and I wanted to export those location points that I yeah as, assigned in QGIS, and I wanted to export them in a way that we could just copy paste the lat and longitudinal information into Google Maps and navigate to those points. So I suppose you have a similar interest and want to do that. And yeah, it took me a while to figure it out, and eventually I saw that it's quite easy, but there's no straight cut video on YouTube, so I thought I'll do that real quick. And the first thing we have to realize is the coordinate reference system that we're using, and that's basically how you deal with the dilemma that you can't properly showcase a three-dimensional world on a flat surface. But I'm not gonna explain it in much detail because there's an excellent video on YouTube, and I'm just gonna link that so you can watch that. And yeah, it's wonderfully explained there. So, but what we have to realize is that I'm using now a reference system, coordinate reference system for the Netherlands, and probably you are using one for your location. And GPS uses a certain coordinate reference system, the VWGS 84 with this EPSG. And so if we want to export our x and y coordinates, they also need to be in that coordinate reference system. So yeah, how are we going to do this? We can just go to the layer with our points that we want to export, and we can click here on export and say save feature as, and then we can say where we want to save that and say sampling points VGS 84. And then here in this coordinate reference frame, we just say yeah, that we want this one for the GPS. And then here in geometry, we can say AS YX, and Z would then be the height as well. And YX is what we want, or XY, it's just a different order. But if I'm not mistaken, for Google Maps, you first put the Y and then the X. And yes, then we can just export that and go to the desktop and have a look at it. And yeah, here we can see that we have our numbers. This is now the additional information that we had in the attribute table. So if you gave them custom names, you actually also have them here. But as we see, the degree x here is from the other coordinate reference system, so it doesn't really match. So we can just hide that column. And now we can maybe call that for Google Maps like this, and say add like add a new formula. Oops. Insert new formula and say y2 a2, and then we want to put some a comma and a space between the values, and then the x value, so b2, and here we have our coordinates. Then we can see if it worked and put them here into Google Maps and see yes, this is exactly the location that we want to sample. So yeah, it's as easy as that. I hope this was helpful for you, and have fun with your sampling.